Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews. Today I'm going to talk about camping coolers, my 3 go-to camping coolers, my Igloo down the bottom, the Coleman 5-day, and now my new one is the Pelican. I'm going to go through each one of these and I'm going to explain the best I can my experiences with camping coolers and how I've modified them and why I bought the Pelican, which is 5 times the price of the other ones. I never thought I would ever buy one of these, but there's a specific reason why I wanted to buy one. We're going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But first of all, let's take a look at all these coolers. You have never seen these type of coolers before unless you've watched my channel in the past. And I've done something to the Pelican that's never been done before. So let's take a look right now. Well, let's start off with the Igloo cooler. A terrific cooler, but it did have some challenges. And the first thing is I had to put a seal all the way around here because it wasn't sealing. And for all of you that are wanting to check your cooler, put about 1 inch of water in the bottom, put the lid down, turn it upside down, and see how much it leaks. You'll find out if you have to put a seal in there or not just regular weather stripping. The other thing I did was I fabricated my own liner on the inside. And of course, I use ice blocks, and you can see this all comes out. And it's just a regular cooler in there. And this is a terrific cooler, good for about, I would say, 4 days for most people. And they got lots of room here to put stuff on. The ice block goes underneath, and a nice little tray in here. And you know, it's a very basic cooler, and I like it because it's actually got a threaded drain tap on it, not just one of those pull-outs that you see on other coolers. But this is a good cooler. So let's go on to the Coleman and the 5-day cooler. Well, this is the Coleman. Terrific cooler, 5 days, and if you put an ice block in here, you'll get 5 days. And what I've done is I've got this removable liner in here. And of course, over here, I can put all the stuff that I want in. And I'll tell you something, when you put an ice block in, what I can do is vary the size of the ice block. And then I put this grate on top. And this grate is just actually, comes by 2 feet by 4 feet. And it's used for, I guess, a light diffuser. It's just plastic that you would get at your, your building supplies. And it's for lighting. You just put this up in the T-bar ceiling and the lights in behind it, and it's just for lighting. But you put this on top of your ice block and it keeps whatever you want, not soaking wet from the ice, and it doesn't touch the ice and doesn't melt the ice. So this is a great addition to put in here, and you can make these yourselves. And the only thing I don't care about the Coleman is they've got this, and I really think they should put a screw-on tap like they have for a drain on the Igloo. But this is a good cooler, a good 5-day cooler. Well, this is the Pelican. Now I decided to go with the 30 quart. That's all I needed, and this is about as bulletproof of a cooler that you're going to find. And tell you the truth, I don't use no cup holders on the top or measuring, on the top here. I guess if you get a fish or something, I don't know what the idea behind that is. But this is one rugged cooler. And to open it, these latches. Now these latches right here. Now I don't use a lot of the options that you get on coolers. Like underneath here, is a bottle opener. And yeah, you can lock it and that kind of stuff. But let's open it up here and take a look. There you go right there. And there's one of my ice blocks. Now if you want to know how to make that ice block, I'll put a link down below or a link at the end, and you can find out how I made them ice blocks. Now that one there is 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches, and here's just a small little compartment on the side here. Now the width of this is about 2 inches, like thick here, all the way around, and it's got a lid on it, like built really heavy, and you can see how thick that is. And there's a huge difference between a cooler like this and coolers like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ice block out, take everything out, and explain why this is such a great cooler. First off, it's got some really nice rubber feet on the bottom so it doesn't slide around. You know, you put this in the back of your truck compared to these type, they will go sliding back and forth in the back of your truck all day long. Okay, second thing I like about this is to kind of lift it up here. Let's just open her up. Is the design. There's a pitch from here to here, so it is slanted down towards your drain, which is just terrific. And the dimensions from here to here compared to up here are less. So it is tapered from the bottom going up, and of course same as both ends. And I thought that's a great design feature. And for the money, for me, this is the ideal cooler that I need. I don't need these bigger ones anymore. I'll explain in a minute why. But this seems to be the most robust cooler that I looked at. I don't like the ones that have these rubber straps, these like kind of a bungee kind of strap deal. These ones close nice. They lock on there. They don't open up, and they're so easy to open, and that's what I like compared to the other ones that got like a bungee strap, like a big heavy rubber one. And it's not that big, and I don't need it that big. So let me explain to you why. Well, if you're wondering how heavy is this, well, I'll tell you something. I mean, you know, like I don't find it heavy at all. I'm not too sure exactly how much it weighs. You could read the specs on it, but for me, I don't find it heavy at all, and it's not that big. And if you want, you can take a look at this. This only took me like maybe an hour out in the shop just to make this out of aluminum, and it's all riveted. You know, this is not hard to do. This kind of stuff is very, very simple. And why is this only the room that I have that I bring up, you know, with my supplies in my cooler? Well, first of all, in the last video that I did about showing how to make the ice block, I talked a little bit about them blue gel pack stuff. Well, for me, they're completely useless. They're only good for like a couple of days and that's it. But what I do like them for is I'll put it in the cooler overnight, and it'll chill the whole cooler down first before I put the ice block in and all my stuff. So for that, they work fine. So do you need a cooler like this? Absolutely not. If you're only going out for a couple of days, just get the other ones for like 50 bucks, 60 bucks. You know, that's all they are. I mean, this here is a lot more expensive, but you know, most of the time you only get what you pay for, and I wanted something that was going to last me a lifetime. And instead of me buying these other coolers, tell you the truth, I'm thinking whether I ever got 10 years out of a cooler. I don't think I have. Most of the time they all fall apart somehow. But this one here, yeah, it's guaranteed for life. If you break it, well, they'll give you another one apparently. But I never tried that yet. You know, it's just fairly new to me. But how come I only need to have this much, you know, for everything that I need? Well, when you think about it, I open up the cooler like this, and you've seen how much room is in here. Like, that ice block took up 2/3. And that's my ideal amount of ice. 2/3 ice, you know, like maybe 1/3 at the most, you know, for what you're going to put in there. Because for me, I have to travel hours to go up to my place, and I don't have, you know, like a regular fridge up there. I got a small little bar fridge that runs off my solar panel. But during the trip, everything has to be refrigerated. Now, remember I showed you that little honeycomb plastic insert that I had in this cooler here? Well, I can make that ice block lower or higher, whatever you want, and depending on how long you're going to be. And of course, if you take a look at this, you know, being in here, comes to here, my ice block is this big. I can make that block half the thickness and put one of them plastic honeycombs on top, so I'll have more additional room if I need. But generally, I only need this to put my meats in and maybe bring a couple of drinks with me when I go up, because I do have a refrigerator up there now that runs off of my solar panel. And I don't need these other coolers, because these other coolers, I needed them to last me the whole time I was up there. Now, how long does the ice last in this? Well, I guarantee you, if you use a little bit of logic and reasoning, you could see that this is built a whole lot different. It's one of these roto-molded coolers, 2 inches compared to Lucky, if that's an inch over there. So you're going to get longer ice time, and I like using ice blocks. I make my own, and like I said, I put a link down below if you want to know how to make your own ice blocks. And this here is probably one of the best engineered coolers I've ever seen. So I'm not trying to sell anybody a cooler. I don't sell anything on my channel. But I'd say if you're just a regular person that is going out camping for a couple of days sometime, you know, all you need is these $50 coolers at the most. But this one here, for me, I want to go away for a whole week. I can go away for a whole week and leave all my meats in there and still have enough ice, so when I want to come back, I can pack a couple of drinks with me on the ride home. And I don't like to leave my meats in my refrigerator up at my camp, because I'm constantly opening and closing it all the time, and the temperature isn't as cold as in your cooler. Ice blocks compared to using cubes, well, you can see how the ice blocks take up a lot of room, you know, and this is the only space that I have. But could you just imagine if you wanted to put ice cubes in there? You'd probably have to put about 4 bags. You know, and if you're buying your ice, that can get expensive. For me, I put it out in my deep freezer out in the backyard and make a block. No more than 2.5, 3 days later, I got a block to put in there. And this is really all the room I need, and it keeps it off the bottom so that you're not into the water all the time, so you can drain it off as well. And that's all you really need, nice and light. And this is a terrific cooler. I am going to update everybody on exactly how many days I get out of this cooler with one block of ice. And I'm going to use my 10-inch by 10-inch by 10-inch blocks. And I'll report back and let you know what I think. But so far, out of all the roto-molded coolers that I've seen, Pelican, as far as I'm concerned, has the best engineering design and the latches. These latches are just terrific, and the nice rubber feet in the bottom so it doesn't slide around back and forth in the back of my truck. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a chat on some camping coolers, and I'm going to let you know in the future how long the ice lasts, because everybody makes these videos about how long the ice lasts. And for me, I'll just give a quick update. But yeah, I mean, logic would tell you it's going to last longer than this than the other two, right? Okay, so thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again, and let's have some more fun.